Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Vidapata Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadudam Varjana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakham Vidam Sya Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namahum Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Budale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Om Tat Sat. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 15, text 15, both 15. And 15 is a very, very famous verse also. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mata smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedescha sarve rahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. Mayuri Mataji and Parag Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sarvasya chaham hadi sannavishto matta smrtir jnanam pohanam cha vedescha sarveraham eva vedyo vedante krat vedante krat ved videv chaham.
Hari Bol. Prabhu, can you? Or I'll ask somebody else?
I can, Prabhuji, no problem, Prabhuji.
Okay.
I am seated in everybody's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas.
Hari Bol. I'm seated in everyone's heart. Okay. Sarvasya cha aham hridhi sannivishto. In the heart. Okay. From me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So all these three. The remembrance come from him, the knowledge come from him, and forgetful also come from him. Forgetfulness also comes from him. So why is it a good thing that we also get forgetfulness from the Supreme Lord? Why do we need to forget? No, is it good or bad? Isn't it bad that we forget many things?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's good to forget, Prabhuji. Otherwise, our memory will be full, we'll get mad.
Suppose you are given to remember all our previous lives, all our relations, and all our different situations, how it will be. Can we live? We cannot live. So forgetfulness is a blessing. So remembrance, that we remember so many things, whatever we need to remember. Knowledge, of course, who we are, who the Supreme Lord is, what is our connection, what's our relationship, how we can re-establish that, why we are suffering this material world, why the senses are troubling us, all these different things. So remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness, come from the Supreme Lord. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. So what is the purpose of the Vedas? To know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the main purpose of the Supreme. Not to show off that I know so many slokas, I know all these, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, I have read everything, not to show off, not to be scholarly, or not to think that we are a philosopher or scholar. Not for that purpose. The main purpose of knowing all the Vedas is to know Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And our duty is to serve him eternally. And indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta. He has compiled everything. Okay. In the form of Vyasadeva, Lord Krishna has compiled everything, isn't it? He is the literary incarnation. I am the knower of the Vedas. He knows everything, all the Vedas. Veda basically means knowledge. Knowledge of everything. Material, spiritual, everything, all. Okay. So where he is seated in the heart as what? As Paramatma. And from him, because we are blessed by him, from him comes the remembrance, the knowledge, the forgetfulness. And by all the Vedas, who is to be known? Lord Sri Krishna. When Lord, in their childhood days, Balram and Krishna, sent the cowherd boys to the Brahmanas, the Vedic Brahmanas who were doing sacrifices, okay, for prasadam. Did they give? No, they did not give. They didn't know that the object of worship, the object of yajna, have sent their representative, the cowherd boys, for prasadam. They didn't know that. So they just drove away all these cowherd boys. We are doing yajna for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That same Supreme Personality of Godhead have sent cowherd boys to get prasadam. But they were denied. And on the contrary, the Brahmanis, the wives of the Brahmanas, were very happy to give. Isn't it? So they were very lucky. So by knowing all the Vedas means to know who Krishna is. He is a compiler of all the Vedas and he is the knower of all the Vedas. He is situated in each and every living entity's heart as Paramatma. And he is witnessing and sanctioning whatever we are doing. Without his sanctioning, not even a blade of grass will move. Let's see what Prabhupada says in the purport. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. So we are getting the inspiration, we are getting all that is required for an activity to be fulfilled, from the Supreme Lord. He is inspiring us. He is helping us in each and everything. Without his sanctioning, nothing will work out. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. So whatever deeds or activities we have done in our past lives, accordingly, we are doing the present life work also. According to the reaction of that particular activity, we are working now. For example, this life's activities are a preparation for our next life's activities. So we are preparing our next life according to the activities of the present life. So thus, the Lord is not only all-pervading, is also localized in every individual heart. Okay. This is not only all-pervading, he is in each and every atom also. And plus, he is localized in every individual heart, managing the affairs of that particular living entity. He awards the different fruitive results. He is worshipable not only as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. So Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmedi Paramatmedi Bhagwan Iri Sabdyate. He is available as Brahman, the impersonal feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Paramatma as all pervading personality of Godhead, and Bhagwan as a person who has a spiritual form and who is living in the Goloka Vrindavana, aloof from all the problems of the material world. He is enjoying that. So the Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. So what is the purpose of the Vedas? The purpose of the Vedas is for our reformation. This material world is a rehabilitation center. Okay, we are thrown to this material world. Why? Because we have developed so many material desires. So to fulfill that material desires, Lord has given us this platform, this material world, so that we can fulfill our material desire. And when we are fed up, when we are totally fed up from this material life, then we can take shelter of these scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and go back home, back to Godhead. So Lord is also giving us direction by giving us Vedas. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
yes.
I have a doubt here.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, Vedas we read in Bhagavad Gita, no? Like the flowery words of the Vedas, we should not get attached to it and then self-realize. So how do we understand this?
Vedas means knowledge. So there are different types of knowledge in Vedic literature. Okay. Bhagavatam is also a part of Vedic literature. Okay. So according to the consciousness of the people, they are given different types of knowledge. How a KG class student is given a particular type of knowledge, how a 10th standard student, how a college student, how a postgraduate student, how a, what is that, PhD student are given different types of knowledge according to their standards. Similarly, in Vedas also, they have given Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and Prema also in Srimad Bhagavatam. So according to the consciousness level of the people, different types of knowledge are given for them to slowly and gradually progress to the topmost level. Everybody cannot be given the same medicine.
That's why it is given the right direction to the people.
Yes.
So who are needed accordingly, it will be
according
given.
to the level of consciousness, according to the level of reception of that particular. So ultimately, everybody has to climb the ladder from the lower rung to the topmost rung. Okay. So those who are in first standard will never sit in first standard. After 1 year, they will go to the second, then third, like that. They have to get promoted, isn't it? Similarly, those who are in the mode of ignorance, they may be in ignorance due to whatever reason, due to their bad activities in the past life. Okay. And they may have different desires also in the mode of ignorance. But then when they understand that is not the purpose of this human life, slowly and gradually by following the instruction given in these Vedas, and they will rise from the mode of ignorance to passion to goodness to pure mode of goodness. So basically Vedas gives all different types of knowledge according to the different consciousness level and reception power of the living entity. It's not only meant for the top class people, it is meant for everybody. So according to the reception power, according to the consciousness level, they have to use this knowledge and slowly and gradually they have to upgrade themselves, just like how a student is upgrading themselves from the lower grade to the higher grade. So once they come out of the three modes of material nature using the same Vedas, they will be eligible to go back home, back to Godhead, and after transcending the three modes of material nature. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the Vedas give the right direction to people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and Krishna in his incarnation as Vyasadeva, is the compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. Vyasadeva has just compiled the Vedas. Veda has come directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, in the form of Mahavishnu. His breathing itself is Veda, the Omkara, the Pranava mantra. Through that, he is giving the Vedas. Okay, so what Vyasadeva has done, he has just compiled everything so that the general public will be able to understand the intentions of the Vedas. Otherwise, as it is very difficult for us to, even then it is difficult. It is because of Prabhupada's mercy that we are able to understand a little bit of it, because he has given it in a very simple English language, in a language that we can understand. If it were in Sanskrit language, it would have been difficult for us. We would not even touch the book and we would be in darkness. So it is just the compassionate nature of the acharyas, because of which we are all benefited, especially the Prabhupada. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of the foodstuff, witness of his activity, giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas, and as Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of Bhagavad Gita. So, what all he is doing for us? Okay. He is delivering us from this material existence, he is supplying all the foodstuff, and he is digesting also. Do we do anything for digesting? We are not doing anything. Everything is automatically taken care of by the Supreme Lord and his agents. He is the witness of all our activity, he is sanctioning, he is giving all the knowledge in the form of Vedas, and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is giving Bhagavad Gita, the instruction. He is giving the instruction to Arjuna, through that via media, we are all getting instructed. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. The God is all good, God is all merciful. So if the God is all good, if the God is all merciful, why people are suffering this material world? Can anyone elaborate on that? If God is all good, God is all merciful, why people are suffering this material world?
Because of our desires, Prabhuji, our karmas and our desires.
Because of our karma. Can you elaborate on that?
You want me to elaborate, Prabhuji?
Yes, because if the Father is so merciful, why is the Son?
Because of us, Prabhuji, we have the free will, so he gave us the free will. But what happened with the free will and with our desires, we goes on the wrong direction only, and we try to do as per our will only, not on the God's will. So whenever we do as per our will, definitely there will be some misfortunes and some problems will be there. So that's we have to have the sufferings, and we forget that our Sarup Jiver Sarupa Krishna Nitya Das. So we forget that our job is to serve Krishna, but we became master of the body and we start serving our body, and that is the basic reason for our suffering.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. Somebody wants to add to that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. God is merciful, but still he killed Ravana and Hiranyakashipu. Even that is considered to be a mercy only, because he is trying to save them from the sins actually and deliver them so that they can be freed from the sins. So that is also, we cannot tell that he is hard on those people, not like that. He's there, his mercy is acting on them, and they get killed by Krishna himself or the God himself.
Yeah. So in brief, his punishment as well as his rewarding, both are mercy only. Why is he punishing? So that we get reformed, isn't it? We become better citizens. It is not that he doesn't like us, because he has given instruction through Bhagavad Gita and through many other literatures, spiritual literatures, but we are not, unfortunately, we are not following. Since we are not following, just like, the parents of the naughty children, in spite of, teaching such children, they are not obedient. They are not obeying the instruction of the. So what they do? They punish the children so that they don't go off track. So the parents' punishment to the children, it is out of affection, out of love, so that they come on track. They don't fall in ditch. They don't fall prey to any unnecessary activities. So the punishment of the parents, and here the punishment of the supreme parent, Lord Sri Krishna, is also mercy only. It is to correct us, to guide us, to lead us, to direct us in the right way. So we should not think that why people are suffering this material world, because it is also mercy. So that because of suffering, we'll think, oh, why I'm suffering this material world? Because of my own bad karma. I'm supposed to correct myself. I'm supposed to do the right thing. I have to improve myself. So that is the reason. So even the punishment is good for us. Thus,
But
God is
many
all good.
people-
Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. Sorry.
No,
to
no,
interrupt
please
you.
go ahead.
But many people don't think like that, Prabhuji. They think that they have been punished by the God, or the God is not merciful on them. That is the issue. That's why they move away from Krishna.
So that's the reason I asked this. God is all good. God is. You can just give this example. For example, the son is, stealing somebody else's property or money. Is it good? The parents are instructing, please don't do that, please don't do that. In spite of telling it so many times, the son doesn't stop. So what does parents does? Punish. Is it for his good or bad? Definitely it is to reform. If they don't correct the son, he'll have to face bigger problem in future. He'll be jailed, he'll be punished, he'll be even hanged to death. In a material example I'm giving. So similarly here, in the bigger picture, in this material world, we're all living against the will of the Supreme Lord. We have to suffer the nature's law, as per the nature's law. So when we suffer, if not today, after a few lifetimes, we'll come to our senses that I have been suffering so long in different species of lives because of my own karma phala, as Parag Prabhu rightly said. Then, if not today, tomorrow, we'll have to correct ourselves. So God is merciful, that the punishment is also merciful on. If the child is not corrected in the young age, what will happen? So who will be responsible for the child's sinful activity and getting entangled in all problems? The parents, right? If the parent doesn't direct the child, doesn't correct the child, who is to be blamed? Parents. Even after telling so many things, so many times, trying their level best, if the child is still doing it, we can't help it. So that's what Lord Krishna also says. He's inspiring from within, not to do, don't do that, it's not good for you. But still, in spite of that, we tend to do such things. So who is responsible? Is it the Lord or ourselves? So similarly, in a state, there are civil laws, right? State laws. The government is telling, don't steal. Okay, don't violate the traffic laws. Okay? Don't do any robbery. Don't do this. Don't do that. And if we are going against that rules and regulations, what will happen? When we don't listen to their direction, their rules and regulations, what will happen? We will be punished. Isn't it? So who is to be blamed? The government or the person who is doing that activity? So that's what Lord is doing. And even the government is punishing so that he becomes a better citizen, an obedient citizen. So that's why it is said, thus God is all good, God is all merciful. It is because of his mercy only, we are instructed, we are inspired time and again, we are directed in the right direction. By punishing, at least by punishing, we come to our senses and don't do that simple activities again and again, and come back to this material world of perpetual suffering in different species. It is a mercy. It's a mercy. If the Lord doesn't punish us, it may take billions and billions of lives for us to get delivered. Since he is punishing us, the cycle of birth and death will reduce. Because we are getting punished, we are getting the right direction from the Supreme Lord. We don't commit that sinful activities again and again. Right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
There is one doubt is coming in my mind, Prabhuji. If we are talking like an individual, then we are thinking that God want to reform him. That's why he's punishing will. But sometimes it's happened that a group of person is getting punished. Like somebody is going by the bus. Might be they are going to Tirth Yatra or somewhere, and that the bus gets flip over and they all get died and injured. Like natural calamities is happening. That all that person are getting punished. So who is responsible? That all our person are doing bad. That is the thing is they are, how they all are getting punished all together like this.
This is called mass karma. Okay, this is called mass karma. There's individual karma and mass karma. Individual karma is that particular individual is doing a sinful activity and he or she has to incur the sinful reaction. Mass karma, for example, in a village, meat eating is going on. Okay, and intoxication is going on, prostitution is going on, okay, and gambling is going on. Is only one person responsible for that?
No.
So many people.
In that group might be some of the person are responsible, but 50% might be not responsible.
Yeah, the person who are not responsible will not get into such problems. The persons responsible are coming together. The nature will bring them together in a bus, and the bus accident will take place. And all of them who are responsible for such breaking laws will be punished by the accident, by earthquake, by drought, by flood, by tsunami, all these things. This is called Adi Devik.
Might be in all these in natural calamities, some of the person who got escaped, who is safe, they are the good person. That's why.
Yeah, because he's not involved in any of this. That's why he is saved. Even though the natural calamities has affected the whole village, some of them are still intact, alive, without any problem. Why? Because they are not involved in any of such this thing. Even though they are staying in that village, they are not party to any of such breaking laws. So the nature takes care of everything. Lord Krishna wanted to kill all the sinful personalities. So he used Jarasandha 17 times. 17 times. How many times? Not one or two. 17 times. He could have killed Jarasandha in the first war itself. He didn't do that. He knew that if he kills Jarasandha, then he will not bring all other sinful persons. So he let him free. Then he'll come again with another set of all people were killed, but Jarasandha was spared. So he will bring next time another set of people who are all sinful. So he kill second time all these people. He will leave Jarasandha. Like that 17 times. So Krishna used Jarasandha an instrument to bring all the sinful personalities in the war, and Krishna could very easily kill out of them. Like that, Krishna's engaged the nature to bring all such people and kill at once in one drought or one tsunami or one flood or one earthquake. So, did you get it, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes. Clear now.
Yeah. So mass karma, for example, if you are breaking the law of, the four regulative principles, if you are breaking, for example, meat eating, okay, we're all involved. So how many people are involved in that? There are 6 types of people: the person who kills, the person who cooks, the person who eats, the person who supplies, the person who helps. All this, so many, all of them are, according to the degree of their service, they are affected.
Bhardi.
They're all party to that. I'm just giving one example. Similarly, intoxication, similarly, meat eating, similarly, prostitution, everything. These are all the 4 main people are doing in this age of Kali. One should be very careful. We should not, then at the end of the day, oh, Krishna is punishing us, why only this, all the people in this village has been suffered. Those who are slaughtering, especially cows, the highest punishment is given to them. It said that how many hairs are there on the body of a cow? That many times they will have to take birth. Just imagine. A person who is eating meat or who is party to this meat eating business, meat industry, how many hairs on the body of a cow is there? That many times he'll have to take birth in this material world. So that's it. So it's not that easy. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I was hearing from Garga Bhagavatam. In that one story was they were telling the story, Prabhuji, like Gautama Muni killed. Actually, Ganapati came as a cow, and then when Gautama Muni was meditating, this cow was disturbing. So Gautama Muni just took the grass and threw it onto that cow, but the cow was killed. So after that, actually before that there is a story where the Brahmanas will ask to trouble Gautama Muni. So when the Brahmanas, when Ganapati was sought for help, Ganapati will tell, I will help you to the Brahmanas, but the thing is the sin will come to you. The Brahmanas are telling that it is okay, whatever sin comes, we will just do sacrifice, we will do homa, yagnas, and we will get cured of it. But as per what I hear it from you now, that when you kill a cow, the sin is very bad. Then how they can counteract it with mantras, Prabhuji?
Because they're all Brahmanas, well-versed in Vedic mantras, and the condition maybe they're all not ordinary personalities like us. Now, we're all controlled by the laws of nature. They have highly elevated personalities. For them, it may be different, this thing. They can pass on the curse. Now, for example, Indra got the curse because he disrespected Brihaspati, so Guru Ninda. Then he killed Vishwarupa, the spiritual master, by chopping off his head. And he got the curse. So this curse, he distributed among 4. 1, earth; 2, ladies; 3, water; and 4th, trees. He distributed it. He could do that. So that's a different thing. They are on different platform.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, understood.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next para. Andapravishta Sasta Jananam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body. So that's a good thing. We forget everything the moment we leave this body. We don't know anything about who we were. And it's a new life, new chapter. It's a new chapter. But he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. Okay? Although he forgets who he were, he gives the intelligence to restart from where he has ended in the last life. That means the desires and everything will be there. From there he will start again. So not only does a living entity enjoy or suffer in this world according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord, situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas from him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required energy. What is that slogan? Tesham sadadayuktanam bhajadam priti purvam dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantite. Okay. So he gives the intelligence by which we can go to him. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, if we are serious, then what he does? Then he gives the required intelligence. Dadami buddhi yogam tam. If you are not serious, in a class, if the children are not serious, the teacher is also ignoring those children. The teacher will focus only those children who are serious about their studies, isn't it? The teacher gives equal importance to all the children, but she gives special importance to those who are obedient, those who are studying nicely. Similarly, the Supreme Father is also like that. If you are serious about that, then he will give the right intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because a living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this. Yosau sarver veder giyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the 4 Vedas, Vedanta Sutra and the Upanishads and the Puranas, the glories of Supreme Lord are celebrated. By performance of Vedic rituals, discussion of the Vedic philosophy and worship of the Lord in the devout service, he is attained. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. So, Vedasya sarver aham eva vedyo. The purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction by which to understand Krishna and the process of realizing him. Ishvara Sakshatkar. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra confirms this in the following words. Tattu samanvayat. One can attain perfection in the 3 stages. By understanding Vedic literature, one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By performing the different processes, one can approach him. And at the end, one can attain the supreme goal, who is no other than Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are clearly defined. So, what is the purpose of the Vedas? The purpose of Vedas is to know who Krishna is. And the understanding of the Vedas, what is the understanding of the Vedas? So that we can take up the right process. For what? To achieve the goal. What is the goal of the Vedas? Going back home, back to Godhead. To reinstate our constitutional position. Now we are not in our constitutional position. So by knowing Krishna, by knowing the Vedas, by knowing the process, we can attain the goal. That is Sambandha Jnana, Abhideya Jnana, and Prayojana Jnana. Okay? Sambandha is who is Krishna and who am I? What is the relationship between me and the Supreme Lord? And that is Sambandha. Abhideya is a process, how I can re-establish the lost connection with the Supreme Lord. There are different processes recommended in the Vedas. So we have to follow that process. And for us, especially in the age of Kali, we have been given the simple process. So there are different processes recommended for different yugas. So in the Kali Yuga, what process we have to follow is also given. It's a very simple process. Chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And by constant chanting and remembering Lord Krishna, his leelas, his attributes, his rupa, all these things, it is easy for us to always remember Krishna and become Krishna conscious. Then what is the ultimate result? The ultimate result is that we can stop the vicious cycle of Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi and go back home, back to Godhead, to reinstate to the status quo in our original constitutional position as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what this particular verse says. It's a very beautiful verse. Prabhupada has given wonderful purport for this. It's a clear-cut purport. There is no ambiguity, there is no doubt, there is no room for any doubt. Okay, so any questions or any comments? So next we will take next week only. Okay. Let's stop the sharing here. Next is 15-16. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhya, Kripa Sindhu Bevacha, Patidanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Ananda Kodi Vaishnavi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. I go.